Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 2 of season 3 of the F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. Yesterday we're here back ready for the Chinese Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the first video that went live back on Monday, I would definitely recommend going back and checking out. But today though, like I said, we head back to Shanghai here in the Williams RTG. Of course, now into the final season of this career mode. It is all or nothing. Can we finally put Williams back on top in the Formula 1 world? To be honest, the first race, promising signs being shown. At the moment, upgrade-wise, we've still got a few more upgrades in the works, which should bring us level with Ferrari there. But neither Mercedes or Red Bull are quite delivering to the levels we'd expect them to. So yeah, you can see there we've got a minor and a major upgrade currently in the works. And like I said, that should pretty much bring us up to Ferrari. However, the problem is at the moment, the team aren't upgrading the facilities fast enough, which means after we've put, I think we've got one more upgrade that we can put on the car at the moment. Now, there we go. We've got one more aero upgrade at the moment, which would be a big one. And then after that, the only things we can do currently are durability, unless the team really pull their finger out. So we've got to be careful. We've got to try and get the team to improve the car as well there. A massive thank you as well to all of you guys. We're now getting close to 47,000 subscribers. Yeah, we've just ticked over 46.5k at the time of recording this. So, you know, if you're not already, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourselves subscribed as well. It massively helps out the channel in our bid to try and hit 50k before F1 22 does release. But championship-wise, though, we currently sit third at the moment after another dominant display by Red Bull in the first race back. 16 points, though. We've just got to try and stay consistent early on in the year whilst we try and pile on the upgrades still. And maybe, just maybe then, we can give them a good challenge later on down the line there. But the car's seemingly quick. Let's move in then here to the Chinese GP. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022 and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Right, well here we are then, back in Shanghai once more then for the Chinese Grand Prix. It's been a bit of an odd track for me on F1 2021. It's often delivered quite exciting races, but often exciting for all the wrong reasons for myself. Maybe the Williams RTG, I can see us with a bit of better luck around this circuit, but again, of course, it is just a track that really does test all aspects of a car, and we have got a pretty decent, all well-rounded package at the moment as we head through the first snail section, just try and get the car tipped into that apex. And just this first lap, taking it nice and easy, making sure we get the car slow down on its marks, everything like that, just so we get a good reference point in. Of course, top 10 round here isn't critical, to be honest. Often if you end up at sort of 11th, you can actually get quite a big jump on a lot of other cars as well there. But really, you know, at the moment, we want to be trying to qualify this thing as high up the order as we possibly can. Schumacher goes to the top of the timing screens on a 1:33.2. Let's just wait and see then. So currently it's a Haas 1-2. There goes Charles Leclerc. Oh, sorry, Carlos Sainz even. That's a much better lap time then. So a high 1:30 is what we're going to be aiming for here as we head down in towards the hairpin. Big braking zone there. Amazing just how quickly you can get a Formula 1 car slowed down at just the 100-metre board. Got one more corner to go. Tip it in nicely. Use all the exit curb up towards the line. And that is going to be a 31 flat there, so only a tenth away from Carlos Sainz as we've got a McLaren coming up behind us. But quicker than both Maccas, that's really important. So, about to start our second lap here in qualifying, and looks like we're pretty much as you'd expect.
Only got 2 laps of fuel left.
About a tenth away from George Russell at the moment, but now we're really going to try and sort of explore the limits of this circuit there. Try and get the best run out of the final corner. And now let's really try and push this car, see what it's capable of as we head down in towards turn 1. Again, just being a little bit more aggressive on the way in, but still making sure we get it slowed down there. Way too much curb through turn 2. That upsets the rear end and really just doesn't allow you to put the power down on the exit. Don't do what we did at the end of Sakir, though, where we looped it round on ourselves at the very final corner of qualifying. But at the moment, yeah, this lap just unravelling before it's really been ravelled up in the first place. Not good. Yeah, this second lap certainly has not been one to write home about. Going to be about 4 tenths down as we head on out onto the back straight there. But we did find a bit of time through the middle part of the lap. They just made another mistake heading in towards the second snail section. Oh, and yeah, that pretty much sums up the lap there, and accidentally popping it into neutral in towards the final couple of corners, but down through the final turn. Oh, taking way too much curb on the exit, and that lap is basically a write-off. That's what not to do here in China. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope this third lap is a bit better. Right, well, last chance to get a good lap in then, as we're actually just stuck a little bit too close behind Kimi Räikkönen. And then just give ourselves a bit more breathing room there, but make sure we don't trip up the Alfa Romeos behind us.
Left in the session.
Try and just launch the car out of the final corner. Fifth gear there, use all the exit curb as we go. And let's see now if we can try and get a good lap here around Shanghai. Don't let it sort of get away from us too early on in the lap. They're really sending it down towards turn 1. But again, just trying to get the car back over to the curb through the second part there. And that was beautiful. Didn't go over the curb that time around. All the serrated curbs around the early part of this lap there. Of course, you just get the wheels over them and it immediately chucks the car to the sky, braking down at the 100-meter board in towards the hairpin. Second gear on the way in, fourth gear on the way out there, and now just starting to let the car work to its advantages there in towards the S as we go. Not quite getting it over to the apex like I would like, but just keeping it composed through the second part there to get it down the gears. That first part of the double left-hander there is always horrible to try and get hooked up, and now you can see the time is coming in our favour. Just again in towards the next snail section, trying not to take too much on entry, just so we can get away with using a little bit more on the exit, and then out onto the back straightaway. So far so good there, but we have been relegated down the order a fair bit, so we need to make sure these last couple of corners are nice and tidy. George Russell currently sat in 9th place there on a 1:30.8, so clearly both McLarens have improved. There we go, really nice and tidy through the hairpin. Try and get on the throttle on the exit. One more corner to go then. Hold your breath, tip it in. Whoa, back end tried it on the exit there, but we get a nice run up to the line, and that's P5. That's what I'm talking about. Third row of the grid.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Verstappen, Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well, there we go then. Qualifying done and dusted here in Shanghai. And it is Verstappen who puts his Red Bull on pole position there. Both Mercedes 2nd and 3rd, so clearly they got a bit more pace this weekend. Sergio Perez, we were less than a 10th away from Sergio there, but George Russell down in 10th place. For us, it was really a best-case scenario. I never expected us to put it P5 on the grid there, just ahead of both Ferraris, but George, yeah, what's that, 20 thousandths, 2/100ths of a second away from both McLarens there, and Gasly not far behind him, and then a huge 7/10 drop-off to Lance Stroll in 12th there. Really, really happy with that lap in qualifying. Fingers crossed the pace can hang on. Let's get into the race. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once more, a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula 1 victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt we've got plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles an hour, with DRS assisting the cars down the back straight before they brake into the sharp hairpin at turn 14. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Let's discuss Red Bull. There have been some tweaks to the power unit regulations, of course, and I have to say it doesn't seem, so far at least, that they've been able to keep up.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Mr. Monaco, Carlos Sainz, and Leclerc, Ricciardo, Norris, Russell, and Pierre Gasly, Stroll, Bottas, Kimi Raikkonen, and Ocon, Tsunoda, Joe, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Nikita Mazepin, Mick Schumacher, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Right, well here we are then, on the grid in Shanghai, and grid penalties for Valtteri Bottas. No idea how he's managed that so early on in the campaign there, but did make me chuckle, the fact that the sort of crofty Anthony Davidson talking about Red Bull's issues, and yeah, it turns out it's Mercedes that have already taken grid penalties. And Red Bull got a dominant 1-2 in the first race of the campaign there. But strategy today, though, going to be a difficult race there. Soft, medium, medium is going to be the way to go. One of, like I said, very, very few tracks on F1 2021 where the two-stop is the way forward. But we get pushed up onto the second row of the grid then. So if we can try and get in amongst it at the start here, you know, try not to get a bad start, or try not to get a normal start for me on F1 at 2021 there. If we can get up the inside of Perez down at turn 1, I would be very, very happy indeed there. But ready on the grid here for the Chinese Grand Prix. 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out. And away we go there. And Hamilton not getting a good start. Look at that for once. I've actually done it on F1 2021 there. Hamilton and Perez tried to hold it around the outside there. We're going to send it up the inside of the pair of them through turn 1. Got to take our chances early on in this season. And there we go. A power move to the inside of Lewis Hamilton there, who seems to have lost the place to Checo as well. So already, I said I wanted to get in amongst the Red Bulls, and that's exactly what we've done at the start of this Grand Prix then. Now, of course, the case is just trying to get the tyres up to temperature on this opening lap there. But the dream start here in the Chinese Grand Prix, as I'm sure we're just going to see Verstappen and his Red Bull romp away through the middle sector there. Perez tried to get a bit of an advantage, and I'm running super high aero around this circuit, and you still just cannot match the AI through that S section there. And around the next couple of corners, you can see Verstappen's advantage at the front just slowly building up there. But as we head now down in towards the second half of this lap and in towards the final sector of lap 1, though, still the perfect little start for us in this Chinese Grand Prix there. Like I said, you know, this season is going to be all about just trying to take any advantage we can get, trying to help ourselves to any sort of degree in this season there, as we head down in towards the final corner, making small gains on the Red Bull. Like I said, I think I'm running 8-10 wings. It might be 9-10 wings this weekend there, and we still have just got nothing against the AI through the twisty bits, as that is not the line at the final corner there. But end of lap 1, only 8 tenths behind Max Verstappen, then 9 tenths ahead of Sergio Perez, who's just struggling to hang on to our coattails through that final sector. So clearly we have got a big advantage, at least in one part of the lap. But now we just got to try and keep Verstappen honest. Fingers crossed, stay in the DRS. That's a good sign. Then Sergio Perez not able to match the pace of Verstappen and I early on in this GP. Of course, it is a big gamble though, pushing hard on these soft tyres, because they do not last long anyway. Team wanted us in at the end of lap 4. I opted to try and extend that by 1 lap to the end of lap 5. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with George Russell. But now the DRS has been enabled, we need to try and get close enough to Max Verstappen. Can we launch it through the chicane and maybe get the gap down, albeit briefly? I think we have, actually. So that worked out a whole lot better than I thought it would. And now we're going to get some DRS off the Dutchman there. We're not going to be able to hang close as we head out onto the back straight. But there we go, DRS now going to be active in this Grand Prix. And that's just going to give us a couple of extra tenths that we can really do with here early on. We are giving this Williams absolutely everything just to try and match Verstappen, never mind get round him.
Your DRS is offline. The rear wing is down, so you can stay out while we work on a fix.
Been a while since I had that on F1 at 2021 there. As fastest lap of the day, we'll take it, thank you very much. But I just spoke about getting the DRS. To be honest, we must have been about a second away from the DRS being stuck open.
Start lifting off the throttle a little before the braking line and letting the drag do some of the work of slowing
Yes,
you down.
Jeff, I know what I'm doing.
Conserve the fuel you have left.
Bring on Mark Priestley, I say. But yeah, still got to try and stick close to Max then. You know, might just be struggling early on, but I said this in Bahrain as well there. The race pace of this car, just that bit better than the qualifying trim, and that is really carrying us along early on this year. I say that, we're 4 laps into race 2 of the year. Things can very quickly change. Verstappen doesn't pit either at the end of lap 4, neither does Checo Perez behind, so one of the Red Bulls is going to have to go long.
Push now.
We're meant to be boxing at the end of this lap. I'd love to get ahead of Verstappen before then, but I don't think we're really going to get any opportunity. I have noticed, though, he's very cautious on the brakes down into the hairpin. That's where this car is definitely gaining a lot of time on the Red Bull as well. Look at that. Verstappen kicks the back end out, trying to put the power down out of turn 3. And that just allows me to stay that bit closer, sitting in the dirty air. But, like I said, we are going to box the end of this lap, so I'm going to take everything out of these tyres.
Tyre condition is still looking good.
Team's still happy with the tyres then, but I am probably going to box still at the end of this lap if Verstappen stays out. Might wonder sort of what's going on in this Grand Prix as we head out of the final corner. What's the tyre we're up to? Yeah, 42% on the front, and Verstappen does stay out then. So we are going to try and go for an undercut then on the Dutchman in this Grand Prix, as both Red Bulls staying out another lap. So have we forgot about a strategy again here? Does look like we have got a few cars coming into the pits, which I guess is a good thing. We're probably going to come out in a bit of dirty air as well now. We've actually come out right down towards the Haas cars in this Grand Prix. As fingers crossed the team can give us a nice tidy pit stop. 2.5 is not too disappointing there, as are we going to come out ahead of the Alfa Romeo or of Mazepin. It's going to be close on exit, but luckily we do there. And Mazepin, yeah, really sort of wandering around with his old team this weekend. He was about a second, I think, off Giovinazzi in qualifying, but that gives me a little bit of breathing room up to the Alfa in front. That hopefully means this lap we can push. There we go, Verstappen now into the pits at the end of lap 6, as well as George Russell. Go on, Jeff, tell me that. No, apparently not. Jeff's gone silent on me. No.
George in the pits.
Of course I got optimistic there, but have we been able to do the undercut then on Verstappen in this Grand Prix? It's felt like a pretty tidy out lap, so it is going to be close on pit exit here, as there is Max Verstappen, and there we go, we have done it then in this Grand Prix, so we are now up into the net lead of the race there, but Verstappen's on hards. Surely there's no way Red Bull can get that car to the end of the race on a set of hard tyres, but either or, we got lulled into that trap last weekend. We're going to have to keep pushing here in case we have to try and make up a pit stop deficit late on in the afternoon. It's purple through sector 1.
2.3 seconds.
Really do not want to get stuck behind Gio though. So there we go. Put the throttle down through the mid part of the corner there. Don't have to worry about getting the car to the racing line. And we'll cheekily send it up the inside of Antonio Giovinazzi.
Nice work, that brings you up a place.
I'm sure Alfa Romeo must be looking at the Williams revival and thinking, how couldn't we do that? But now, Zhou Guanyu, first ever home Grand Prix in this career mode. Are we going to be able to get a run on the young Chinese driver there? Had a pretty solid debut in his Aston Martin, I think, until things went a bit pear-shaped, but we haven't even got the DRS on him. So we must have got a monstrous run anyway. Are we going to be able to go for a bit of a send on the Aston Martin? We'll have a look to the inside. Oh, it was because the DRS was still offline, wasn't it? But now it's come back. So we do still make the move work on Zhou Guanyu there. Are we going to see any more cars into the pits? Yeah, Sergio Perez. So now we've got Pierre Gasly who's into the lead then of the Grand Prix. We're just trying to get around all these midfield cars. You know, cars that not long ago we were battling with on raw pace in this series. There, a Sonoda broke way earlier than I was expecting down at turn 1, but we'll still make it work as George Russell must have had contact on his outlap there. George Russell's horrible start to the year continues.
George is coming in for his stop.
And he boxes twice in 2 laps. Right, can we pull off the same move on Ocon as we did on Giovinazzi? We'll have a look to the inside. Oh, got very, very close there. I kind of went left, Ocon... Sorry, I kind of went right. Ocon was trying to go left all at the same time there. But luckily, the Frenchman spots me on the inside. And now up into P4 of the Grand Prix. Don't know why I suddenly forgot that number. But, yeah, now, DRS, though, re-enabled in this Grand Prix. And you can just see how much some of these midfield cars are struggling on their tyres there. Are we going to be able to get a run on Kimi Räikkönen as we head down the back straightaway? We're still gaining in on the AlphaTauri here, is also gaining on Lance Stroll. Oh, Kimi thought about moving at the last moment, but could tell I meant it when we positioned the car to the inside. And now up into P3 of the Grand Prix. And Lance Stroll now just in front of me. Can we get a run on the Aston Martin back down towards turn 1?
Pace, you're catching the car in front by a second per lap. We're leading our teammate.
Sliced and diced our way through.
5 seconds.
George Russell's, nightmare weekend continues, but big send on Stroll at turn 1 there. Tried to run him out wide. And now a bit of P2 with a bit more clear air there as Gasly could be a real threat later on in the afternoon.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up.
And Verstappen really struggling to get around a lot of those cars behind as well there. AlphaTauri 2 and 3 in this GP, and surely Kimi Räikkönen will be told to move in just a moment. But yeah, we're taking good time at Gasly. Like I said, the real question is, are Red Bulls somehow going to try and one-stop this race as well there? I was amazed when they did it back in Bahrain, but I mean, Shanghai is a horrible track for tyres. Surely there's no way they can do that.
For a new strategy option.
Team recommended me a new strat. They want us again to extend the stint slightly, which I'm more than happy to do. Of course, strategy now between myself and George won't really matter when he's half a lap behind. But yeah, we just need to try and get past Gasly, preferably before he pits, because he will definitely be one-stopping today. Alright, and here we go then, all over the back of Pierre Gasly, just 1 lap later then in this Grand Prix as we head out onto the back straight. Surely this is going to be a pretty textbook DRS pass there, as the Frenchman, like I said, can't be long away from making a stop on this Grand Prix. Gaz is going to try and make it difficult for me. I'm sure Helmut Marko gave him a call on that one, but deep on the brakes around the outside we go there. Gaz is going to stick the nose in on the exit, but just does not have the grip or the car performance at the moment there, as Verstappen makes a move on the other AlphaTauri. So Verstappen about 10 seconds behind us, so even if we did have to pit again later on in the afternoon, he doesn't. We might still be close here, but just don't want to leave anything to chance at the moment. This car has just really clicked with this track today up to now. So there we go, end of lap 13, Gasly into the pit lane. So we are going to have even more breathing room, and now it is just a dogfight between myself and Verstappen. But that gap is just opening up over the last few laps. The hard tyres, I always say it, they just don't work. Not too sure why George Russell's into the pits again at the moment. It has been an absolute disaster still for our teammate, who's trying to slowly recover places.
George in the pits.
I think he's now caught up to the back markers again, but even there, sort of a long way off any resemblance of points here. Just gutted for him. Really wanted him to be alongside us, battling out right at the very front, but so far this year it just has not clicked. Similar to Verstappen, to be honest, in the My Team series. All the big names faltering are still our best teammate on F1 2021, I'd argue, was probably either Jenson Button or Lando Norris.
Box. We're coming in this lap.
I mean, the other thing I've noticed on these mediums is the pace has been so consistent. We've pretty much set low 34s every lap of the stint up to now, and the tyres haven't really fallen off just yet, but don't really want to worry about losing time if they suddenly were to do so. But it looks like Red Bull have put all their eggs in the softer hard basket here. Don't know, again, we just don't know if they're going to pit before the end of this race. If they do, it's going to be a rather anticlimactic end here in Shanghai, because then of course they're just going to rebox probably out onto another set of mediums, and then we'll pretty much just be level pace between then and the end of the race there. But you just don't know yet. Like I said, I thought they were going to stop again in Bahrain, and they didn't. that's what allowed him the win. You know, we could be on a fight back against Verstappen late on in the afternoon, but a 13-second lead at the moment. Things are really falling into our hands.
We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
So, yellow flags out down in Sector 1. One of the Alpines has gone. I think that's Ocon. And we have got a safety car then.
Speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
And that pretty much destroys Red Bull's hopes then in this Grand Prix. If they were going to one-stop, they may as now box when I do. At least then we'll be on equal footing if they think they've got a slightly quicker race car. But that has come out at exactly the perfect time for us here in the Chinese Grand Prix. We should still be in the lead then by the time we come out of the pit lane. Just make sure we're going on to the mediums team. Haven't done anything weird with the strategy. But poor old Red Bull, if it was going to play into our hands anyway, it certainly has now. As into the pit lane we come. Make sure we just get it slowed down there then. 45 miles an hour on pit entry. And yeah, even if Max Verstappen stays out here, surely we're going to be out ahead of him in this Grand Prix. Or even if not, no, he's not going to box. We're going to be right behind him on a fresh set of tyres. There's going to be nothing he can do off the restart. There's another smooth 2.5 second stop by the team. Yeah, Verstappen should have just pit. None of them are. So whether they're planning on staying out a little bit longer, or they were, yeah, planning to go to the end, either way, Esteban Ocon, retiring from the Grand Prix, has absolutely made this race for us. However, it can all still go wrong in F1.
It looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there, we're attempting to manage it.
No, please, I just spoke about how well this race was going. Please, team, don't let me down now.
It looks critical. Find somewhere to retire as soon as possible. We can't risk you carrying on with this race.
You cannot write a script like
find
that.
Somewhere safe to stop. We need you to retire.
I literally just said this race was in the bag.
Let's catch up to the field a bit. We're dropping too far back. Remember that we need to stay within 10 car lengths of the next car. Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
Well, I don't know what nasty hit there was, Jeff, but we're out of the Chinese Grand Prix, and like I said, that must be karma for saying this race was pretty much in the bag there. Esteban Ocon guaranteeing us a dub. It's all over.
It's victory in Shanghai then, and what a victory it is after an incredible Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I'd say it was down once again to good consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they secured here. Today's performance means Max Verstappen now owns the top spot in the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Yuki Tsunoda gets my vote today.
It's time to check out the Constructors' standings. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
I cannot believe that. Max Verstappen, 25 easy points then at the end of the Chinese Grand Prix. Turns out those top guys were one-stopping, and we absolutely had the pace, safety car or not, to take the race victory here today there. But what a heartbreak at the end of what could have been just, I think, the team's second win in this series there, obviously, after Singapore last year. That's, what, 2 now potential race victories that have gone down the drain in this career mode? You just cannot write it at the moment there. But heartbreak for Williams at the end of the Chinese Grand Prix there. George Russell had a nightmare race as well and only recovered to P12 there. Means championship-wise, Verstappen and Perez tied at the top then, 43 points apiece. We're only down to 5th though, which isn't too bad behind Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. There is Sainz now tied with me at 1 point ahead of Bottas, who's 1 point ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Russell gets relegated though down to 11th after those opening 2 races there. Constructors wise as well, that is not a pretty sight. Red Bull 48 points clear at the top there. Mercedes just 2 points clear of Ferrari there, as now we even get jumped by McLaren down to P5 in the championship. But this weekend, if anything, we've proved the car does have good pace. We will definitely be back very, very soon, I think in Imola next time round there. Fingers crossed then we might be able to fight for another race victory, but we cannot afford too many mechanical failures like that. Thank you all so much for watching though, and yeah, we'll be back very, very soon for a vengeance as much as anything else. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.